Hey, it's Chris Miles. Today's episode is jam-packed with a ton of stuff. We got the top 5 picks and so much more. Stick around because it's coming at you in just a few seconds right here on the Rise Network. Hey, it's Chris Miles. Welcome to today's episode of New on Music Grow. If I've got my numbers right, I think it's episode 10. So, all right, we've made it to a landmark. Thank you very much. Couldn't be here if it wasn't for you and if it wasn't for the Rise Network. So that's being said, like I said last week, you probably came here because you were searching for some songs. Maybe last week, maybe you searched for some songs 10 weeks ago. Either way, you're here, and I want to thank you so much for being here. And with that, let's get right into the show. Let's talk about what we talked about last week as far as the 5 picks are concerned. We kicked it off with 6 months later from Megan Maroney. Where did we end up as far as streams are concerned? Well, no surprise here, 3.5 million streams just from last week alone. Remember, again, like I said, this is just a weekly situation. We'll call it like it is based on the week. I'm not looking at global numbers. I'm not looking at anything else except for just streams for the week. So that's where we ended up with that. Next up was Morgan Wallen. I got better, and he definitely did get better. 5 million streams last week. 5 million. Now, I'm going to cheat a little bit here because I did look at the global streams for this song. 35 million. So just think about that for a second. I think this song's been out for a little bit, but you know what? 5 million streams in a week alone. I mean, yeah, it's Morgan Wallen. Do I have to say any more? No, I don't. Next up, heard it in a country song, Russell Dickerson. That one hit about 1.5 million streams. Again, if you haven't checked that song out yet, make sure you check it out because like I told you last week, it's got that country song like vibe to it. And what I mean by that is we're taking lyrics from other country songs to put it together to make a story about other country songs that we grew up with. Stuff from the 90s, stuff from today. It's a great song. If you haven't listened to it yet, if you have, then congratulations because you're one of the 1.5 million streamers. Moving on, we had Jay Webb's One More Shot. That one hit 1 million streams as well. Jay Webb, up-and-coming rising star as well. And if you didn't check that song out, well, give yourself the opportunity to now that you've heard what the numbers are. And speaking of numbers, last but not least, she was also our rising star of the week last week, Lily Rose. 82,000 streams, kind of about where I thought she was going to be. She's still, on the breaking point. Some people know her. Not everybody knows her. If you haven't checked her out yet, check her out. A couple of great songs to check out from her. Back Pew. Last week, I think I had an error and I said something else. It's not that. It's back pew, like in the back pew of the church, like, when you sneak in at the church because you're like 15 minutes late, but you still want to be there. Yeah, that's kind of what the song's about, too. So check that out. And then also, I'd Be With You, both by Lily Rose. Check it out along with And Like This. Let's get that streams up a little bit, shall we? So those are the 5 picks from last week. Did they end up where you thought they would? Or did you think there were a couple other songs that I needed to feature last week instead? Either way, comment section is wide open. Go ahead and leave your comments there. We'll respond. Likewise, in fold, like I said, if you guys put some comments in there with regards to artists you'd like me to talk about, chances are I'm going to talk about them within a couple of episodes. So make sure you leave the comments right down there in the comment section. And again, thank you so much for watching. So moving on, it's the 5 picks of the week for this week. First one's kind of no surprise because it's Kane Brown. Kane Brown, new song called Two Pair, and it has no poker reference whatsoever. I'm just saying that because my camera guy is a big poker fan, but it's a great song nonetheless. It actually came out a couple of weeks ago, but now it's going to be released for radio and the masses, so to speak. Kane, of course, from Chattanooga, Tennessee. If you don't know him, well, then you obviously don't know that he's a 56-time multi-platinum singer and songwriter as well. And if you haven't checked him out yet, well, then you might be listening to other types of country music. I mean, he's huge as far as pop country music is concerned. Some great songs of his, Miles on It, What Ifs, Thank God. That was a duet with his wife, which is absolutely amazing. Both of them, amazing vocal qualities and ranges in that song. Like I Love Country Music, that's a cool one to check out. My favorite song by him is Heaven. And it's not the radio release version that I like. There's an acoustic version. You'll have to dig a little bit deeper on the album and find it, but that's my favorite version. I also like to karaoke it when I'm out karaokeing, so just saying that there as well, too. And then his latest hit, Backseat Driver, if you haven't heard that, what a great song about driving around with his daughter and the wonderful world that she's exposed to from the back seat, looking out the window, asking if certain things have happened and stuff like that. And as a parent, it's probably going to give you a little bit of a tearjerker because you might be thinking about either the memories of what it was like when your kid was in the back seat, or you might be experiencing that right now. So if you take a listen to that song, make sure you bring the tissues as well. But make sure you check out this week's number one pick, Two Pair from Kane Brown. Moving on, we've got Ashley McBryde. It's been a while since she's had something out, and this week she's released a song, Rattlesnake Preacher. Now, here's the thing. If you were at the CMA Country Fest in Nashville, you heard this song. She played it live while you were out there. If you heard it, cool, because here's the other thing. It's going to be featured in a special coming up at the end of July where they do like the CMA Music Fest special. She is hosting it as well, which is pretty cool when you break it down like that. But Ashley McBryde, of course, if you haven't heard about her, she's from Waldron, Arkansas. Now, she's won 3 CMA awards, including New Artist of the Year, and she's even been inducted into the Grand Ole Opry. And she won her first Grammy with a duet that she did with Carly Pearce. That song, Never Wanted to Be That Girl. Have you checked that song out yet? That came out a few years ago, and it was a huge hit for Carly. I don't think a lot of people realize that Ashley was also on that song as well. So back to Ashley. Here's some songs to check out from her. Light On in the Kitchen, One Night Standards, A Little Dive Bar in Chalonga. That's a really interesting, cool song to check out. Like I said, Never Wanted to Be That Girl with Carly Pearce. And then my favorite song from hers, because I just love the title. The song's cool, too, but I just love the title. It's called Brenda Put Your Bra On. Check it out. I think you're going to totally enjoy it. It's not what you think it is, but you'll enjoy the song. And ladies, you kind of already know what the whole reference there is as far as Brenda Put Your Bra On. Well, that's the second pick of the week, Ashley McBryde's Rattlesnake Preacher. Check that out. Came out today. And moving on, Nikko Moon, back in the spotlight again. King of the Island is the song that came out today. He's, of course, from Tyler, Texas. Nikko Moon kind of broke onto the scene a couple years ago with Good Time. Remember that song? Everybody loved that song. I Love This Beach is another great song from him. And then about a month ago, he released Boat Song, which, like I told you, I think that's going to be one of the party songs of the summer. And it's definitely already picking up tons of vibes and tons of waves. You see what I did there? Boat Song? Yeah, okay. Anyway, moving on. Now, this song, I think, is one of those songs that you really need to check out from the spotlight from this week for the top 5. Tim and the Glory Boys. If you haven't heard about them, you're going to want to get into their music. They are absolutely amazing. They call themselves like the backwoods hillbillies playing boot-stomping country bluegrass music. They call it canoe grass. Yeah, they came up with a new word. I said canoe grass. That's what I said. I didn't make the word up. They made the word up. But you need to check them out. The song this week, Slow Go the Days. Oh my! It's just the song. I can't even put into words how great this song is. And especially if you're into like the bluegrass, backroots, country music, you're gonna love this song just as much as I do. Now these guys are basically from British Columbia by way of Manitoba, Canada. You gotta Manitoba. You gotta say it like that because that's like what they say up north, right? With the back bacon and all that stuff. Anyway, I won't even get into the whole Bob and Doug McKenzie thing. And there's probably not a good reference there anyway. Take off, eh? Anyway, so Tim and the Glory Boys, check them out. Slow Go the Days. Did you get the takeoff reference? Maybe. Anyway, check out Bob and Doug McKenzie. You'll understand. But let's get back to the situation at hand. The top 5 we were talking about. Tim and the Glory Boys, rather. Slow Go the Days. Here's some songs to check out by them. And, of course, this first one, when I said they were like backwoods country, Take Me Back Road. I mean, come on. How much cooler could that get? That's an amazing song. When you know, you know. And when you know, if you knew the Glory Boys, Tim and the Glory Boys already, then you already knew. But now you know because I told you. So there you go. Check them out. Check that song out as well. Float, which is an amazing, fun song. Me Without You. Get Out of My Dreams. Get Into My Truck. And if you grew up in the 80s, there was a guy by the name of Billy Ocean who had a song called Get Out of My Dreams, Get Into My Car. This song is the country version of that. That's why it says "Get out of my dreams, get out and get into my truck." So it's a cover, but it's absolutely amazing and tons of fun. Like I said, it's got that canoe grass feeling, and I didn't make that word up. Tim and the Glory Boys, rather. They made it up. They should call themselves Tim and the Country Glory Boys, right? That would make more sense. Anyway, I digress. Moving on, last pick of the week, Freedom from Harper Grace and Kelsey Hart. This song, Harper Grace rather, had this song on her album, and she decided to make a duet with it. And I got to tell you, the duet is absolutely amazing. It's going to give you chills. You'll probably even want to, I don't know, maybe sit back and relax with your favorite beverage and just enjoy it. Maybe when you're out on the back patio and you're just kind of like trying to, settle down for the day and you're just doing your thing. Or if you're the kind of person that likes to have that morning cup of coffee out on your patio or your screened-in porch or whatever, listen to this song along with some of the other songs from the top 5 this week. Just give yourself a place to relax and enjoy, because you're really going to love this song. Harper Grace, of course, from McKinley, Texas. She's a former American Idol alum. And then Kelsey Hart, he's from Central City, Kentucky. Both have up-and-coming music careers as well. Here's some stuff to check out from Harper. Down in My Hometown, Break It Like a Man, Yard Sale, and then my favorite song, IDK. Well, actually, that's not what it stands for. It stands for I Don't Know, but it says IDK, and, I can't keep up with these youngins these days. Anyway, Franklin Jonas, rather, is on that song as well. Check that out. It's a great song. And then moving on to Kelsey Hart, Life With You, great song from him. I Went to the Bar. That's like a really cool country rocker song. So if you're into the outlaw country, you're probably going to really dig that one. Give You Mine, another great song from him. Crazy About You. Those two songs, Give You Mine and Crazy About You, have that kind of love song feel to them. But I think you're going to like them as well. And then Gone with the Wind. No, it's not about the movie. It's about a couple other things that I don't want to get into at this point. The little tearjerker thing, but also kind of a memory thing as well, too. So check all that stuff out from either Harper Grace or Kelsey Hart. And then make sure you check out Freedom from Harper Grace and Kelly Hart. Those are the 5 picks of the week. So let's sum them all back up again, shall we? Again, in no particular order, but I did have them in this order. 2 Pair from Kane Brown. Again, make sure you check out Backseat Driver. I really think you're going to love that song, especially if you're a parent, and a parent like a dad. Like if you're a girl dad, I think that song's going to hit you in the feels like it did me. Ashley McBryde, Rattlesnake Preacher. Nikko Moons, King of the Island. Tim and the Glory Boys, although I call them Tim and the Country Glory Boys. Slow Go the Days. And then last but not least, Harper Grace and Kelsey Hart, Freedom. That's the top 5 of the week. What do you think? You agree with me? Is there something you'd like to see highlighted in the top 5? You know what to do. Comment sections below. Make sure you leave the comments there as well. Speaking of comments, this particular part of the show, where I call the Rising Star Spotlight, another comment. Somebody told me to check out this guy from Bend, Oregon. And I was like, there's country music people out in Oregon? I mean, I realized there's probably people that live out in Oregon that are into the country lifestyle. But I was like, I don't think I've ever heard of an artist from Oregon. I looked and I couldn't find any real big artists. So I was kind of like, all right, well, let's check this guy out. His name is Max McNow. He has a song out right now called This Side of Heaven. And I got to tell you, if you're into the bluesy sound of country, the bluesy side of country, if you're a Chris Stapleton fan, Max McNow definitely needs to be on your radar, because you're definitely going to love him. He's phenomenal. He's just got this sultry, smooth voice that kind of blends in with the bluesy feel of his music as well. I mean, he just, from his website, he says he creates the kind of songs that perfectly soundtrack our most intimate moments. And ladies, let me tell you, this is the kind of music you want in the background, okay? Just saying. Anyway, Max McNow from Bend, Oregon. Like I said, This Side of Heaven, amazing song. You're going to love it. It came out last week. It needs to be on the radio if it hasn't already. I know they said they were going to put it on the radio, but I haven't heard it around here in my area. Maybe it's on in your area and you're already enjoying it. Either way, check it out. Something else to check out from him, Better Me For You. Brown Eyes is the subtitle of that song. A lot more free, Call Me If You Miss Me, and then Turned Into Missing You. And like I said, this guy, Max McNow, he's up and coming. He's got a couple of EPs out there, a bunch of singles, and he's just kind of starting to slowly make a name for himself. ladies, he's not bad on the eyes as well, too, so you'll enjoy that as well. But like I said, Max McNow is the rising star spotlight of the week, not only because he's had a pretty, not only because I love This Side of Heaven. Like, that's the song that's on repeat this week for me, by the way. Remember how I told you there's usually like a song every week that I'm just like repeating over and over again? That's how I learn the lyrics to the songs. Do you do that? Do you like to play the same song over and over again? It's also how I learned the wrong lyrics to the songs, because I make up words, because, you know, not everybody has great diction or pronunciation when it comes to singing. I don't really think you get graded on it like that, but, you know, sometimes you think the word is something else and then it's not, you know, right? You know what I'm talking about, right? Where you think the lyric means something and then it doesn't, and then you're like, oh, that's what the lyric was? Right? All along the watchtower. Somebody thought that was all along the glass tower. I don't, anyway. All right, do you get it? I don't know. Max McDowell, he's the rising star of the spotlight of the week. Definitely check him out as well. Like I said, he's got 3 EPs out, Nashville-based right now, and he's got his story. It's so inspiring, and it makes you like really want to get into this guy. He's Billboard's he's one of Billboard's emerging artists. He's been on their emerging artist chart. He has this grassroots flow to his music, and he just gets you in the feels, especially with that song that I've been talking about, This Side of Heaven. The first time I heard it, it resonated with me. And you know how sometimes when you first hear a song and you're like, it's okay, or you're like, oh wow, no, like it just grabbed you from the beginning. This Side of Heaven grabbed me right from the beginning, and like I said, it's been on repeat all week long. And then I even dove further into his stuff and just started listening to everything. So again, Better Me for You, subtitled Brown Eyes, another one of his songs I absolutely love. A Lot More Free, another great song as well. Call Me If You Miss Me, and then Turned Into Missing You. I can't give you enough about this guy to make you want to check him out and see what he's all about. Trust me, you'll be doing yourself a favor, because then you could be like, I remember when Chris Miles on New on Music Road told me about this guy, and you'll be seeing him in concert somewhere by you, and you'll be like, see, this is why I love watching that show, and this is why I like Max McNow. So check him out. Like I said, if you haven't, he's only 23 years old, so you know his story is coming around. But you know, he's got a little bit of a backstory to it as well. He wants to take control of his future. He's got some inspiration drawings from his brother. His brother's fighting cancer, and that's kind of where some of these music came from. That's where the soulful, like heart pulling stuff kind of comes from with him. And you know, he's moved around. He's grew up in Oregon, moved out to Southern California, then he moved to Nashville. And like a lot of these other artists that are out there right now, basically grew his career because of TikTok and all the little posts that he put up there as well. And now he's attracting interest from major TV talent shows. He's even auditioned for a few of them as well. But he was turned down. And once you start listening, you're going to be like, seriously? You know, kind of in the same way that, you know, some of the other artists get turned down as well. You know which guys I'm talking about, right? It's kind of that same story. So we'll see how it goes, and we'll see where his career ends up. He's got tons of stuff for you to check out. And like I said, A Lot More Free was recently #1 on the TikTok Breakthrough USA charts. I can't express it enough. Check this guy out. You're going to love him. Again, Max McNow from Bend, Oregon, and you'll thank me later. Really, you will. So let's move on and the show and get to the birthdays and what happened on this date in country music history. We're going to go all the way back to 1959. We're going to go to Nashville, Tennessee, for a gal who had a really huge song called Trainwreck of Emotion. And she had about 25 more singles on the Billboard Hot Country chart since then as well. 3 #1 hits, 5 Minutes, What Part of No, and I Didn't Know My Own Strength. Do you know who I'm talking about now? If you're a fan of country music from like the late 80s, early 90s, then you know who I'm talking about. If you kind of got into country now, you may not have discovered her yet. But born on this date, June 27th, 1959. Lori Morgan celebrating a birthday today. Happy birthday to you. Check out Lori Morgan if you haven't already. Like I said, 5 Minutes, What Part of No, and I Didn't Know My Own Strength. All #1 hits for her as well. So again, happy birthday, Lori Morgan. Moving on to this date in country music history, 1977, Waylon Jennings was number one on the country chart with Luckin' Back, Texas. I used to call that Luggin' Back, Texas. I don't know why, but that's the way I used to do it. He released it at the height of his outlaw country movement, and basically it just kind of catapulted his career. The song was written by Chips Moman and Bobby Emmons, and if you haven't heard it, make sure you check it out. I think I also used to call it Lovenbach, Texas, too. So again, remember I told you, like, sometimes you think you hear something as far as the lyrics are concerned, and then you totally realize, no, that's not the way that it was. Well, anyways, it's Lockenbach, Texas, from Waylon Jennings, number one on the country charts on this date, June 27th, 1977. Moving all the way to 1992. And the reason that mullets were popular in country music, I kind of gave it away if you grew up in the era, but now you'll know who it is, I'm sure, because I'm going to tell you who it is. It's Billy Ray Cyrus. He was number one on the U.S. country music chart, rather, with his debut breakthrough hit, Achy Breaky Heart, which, remember how I told you, like, sometimes you change the lyrics of the songs? Yeah, I changed the lyrics of that song to Achy Breaky, yeah, anyway. But that was the number one for him on this date in 1992. Written by Don Von Tess. Now, it was originally titled Don't Tell My Heart, and it was recorded by the Marcy Brothers in 1991. And then, of course, it was later changed to Achy Breaky Heart in the U.S., and it became a huge crossover hit on pop and country radio for our friend Billy Ray Cyrus. Check it out if you haven't already. It was like one of the biggest like country line dance songs back in the day as well, too. And so congratulations, Billy Ray Cyrus, on that number one hit back in 1992. Moving on to 1994, Common Thread, Songs of the Eagles, went triple platinum. And that was like a tribute album that a bunch of country artists got together to do. If you haven't checked it out and you're a big Eagles fan, check it out. You're going to love it. It features Clint Black, Alan Jackson, Travis Tritt, Little Texas, John Anderson, Tanya Tucker, Susie Bogus, Vince Gill, Billy Dean, Diamond Rio, Trisha Yearwood, Brooks and Dunn, and Lori Morgan. So there you go. Rounding out the whole what happened in country music on this date, back in 1994, Common Thread, Songs of the Eagles went triple platinum. Check it out if you haven't already. So we've come to the end of the show. I know it went by so quick and it went by so fast because I had so much going on for you. But you know what? I saved the best for last. And here's why. This particular song was written by a gentleman from Brandon, St. Charles. He's a Grammy Award winner, and he's a worship leader. And he did this song with a guy by the name of Jelly Roll. You know who that is? I'm sure you do. He's huge, popular right now. If you don't know who Jelly Roll is, I got nothing for you. I just don't. Anyway, Hard Fought Hallelujah. It's making waves across the country arena. If you haven't checked it out already, make sure you check it out. Brandon Lake is the individual that I'm talking about, the one that's from Charleston, South Carolina. And like I said, he's a worship leader. So this song, while there are Christian overtones to the song, I mean, it's pretty much a Christian song. It's a Christian country song. Jelly Roll adding into the mix just brings a whole nother level to it that just really resonates and just really gets you. You can feel the pain in this song and the trials and the tribulations that Brandon Lake has gone through, and even Jelly Roll for that matter. I mean, if you like Jelly Roll and you like songs from Jelly Roll like I'm Not Okay, Save Me, and Liar, then this song is going to resonate with you just like those songs from Jelly Roll did, and you're going to love it. If you haven't heard it already, listen to it, because like I said, it's just going to get you in the feels. When I first heard the song, I was like, who is this guy, and how do I get more of this song? Well, I put it on repeat. That was a couple weeks ago, and then that's like I said, that's what I do. When I really get into a song, I just put it on repeat. Nobody in my household loves me because that's what I do. I will literally play a song and just kill it in my own house, and then people are like, I don't want to hear that song anymore. And me, I'm still jamming to it in my car. This is one of those songs where I listen to it at least 2 or 3 times a day. Not only because of the fact that, like I said, it's got some Christian overtones to it and things of that nature. It's one of those deep, soulful songs that just gets you in the feels. And even if you're not like a believer, even if you don't have faith or you're not one of those types of people, you're still going to feel the trials and tribulations of life, and it's still going to resonate with you, and it's still going to make you want to go, you know what, there just is something else out there. And it's just an amazing song. You can feel the trials, like I said, and I mean, I'm still getting chills talking about the song right now. And if you want more, there's a interview that he did called "From Outside the Box." You should check that out as well. I can't really go into too much detail here because I'd be talking for another like 20 minutes about it. But the interview about the song with him and Jelly Roll, it'll just blow your mind. And here, these are the lyrics from the song. Yeah, I don't always feel it. Yeah, but that's when I need it most. So I'm gonna keep on singing till my soul catches up with my song. I mean, these lyrics just resonate with anyone who's really gone through like some hard times in life and really just needs a source of something to get them back on the other side. So this week's spotlight, this week's song that needs a little bit more love, this is the song you should check out, is Hard Fought Hallelujah, Brandon Lake and Jelly Roll. And I think you need to listen to it. I think you're going to love it. And I think you love the show as well, too. And it shows because of all the views we get, the comments, the likes, the subscribes. Pass them on to your friend as well, too. We totally love that. We totally appreciate you as well. And this brings this episode of New on Music Row to a close. So I'm Chris Miles. We'll see you again next week. We got a little bit of a special thing going on for you because it's going to be July 4th. And most of you know in the country music industry, it's not necessarily one of those weeks where there's a lot of new music coming out. But I've got a special like 4th of July holiday show kind of lined up for you. We'll take a look at what we've seen so far as some of the songs that I did in my top 5 list, and we'll highlight some other things as well. And then I've got a very special top 5 list for you. So make sure you're back here next week on Friday, July the 4th, to check out that episode as well. And the only place you can see it is right here on the Rise Network.